Courtlyn Montgomery, and welcome to Real News Network, where we keep it real for you and all of your viewers. And these are our top stories. Brad Pitt has taken a stand for gay marriage equality by donating $100,000 to the Human Rights Campaign. The actor has thrown his support behind this very important issue a week before Election Day, where ballot measures on marriage equality are being voted on in Maine, Maryland, Minnesota, and Washington State. Pitt said in an email to the HRC supporters, "If you're like me, you don't want to have to ask yourself on the day after an election, what else could I have done?" Him and his significant other, Angelina Jolie, have continuously supported this issue for a couple of years now. Actually, they are holding off their own marriage until marriage is equal for every citizen, and I think that is fantastic. And in other news, Hurricane Sandy has made a huge impact across the nation, and I have decided to showcase one story that I thought was interesting in particular. Engineers have determined that a storm-battered crane that is dangling over Midtown Manhattan is securely fastened to a high-rise building under construction, Mayor Michael Bloomberg said in a statement on Wednesday. Crews will have to construct around the crane on top of it in order to take down the previous one that was broken. And engineers have been heavily working on this issue. A lot of people have been evacuated from Manhattan, so I will let you know what exactly is going to happen with that as soon as I read up more on it. And now I'm going to pass it over to Brandon and Shantice to M3, where music matters most.
Hey guys, welcome to M3, where music matters most. I'm your host Shantice, and this is my co-host
Brandon J.
Well, this just in.
Bow Wow is broken, boy.
Yes.
Alright, so look. Bow Wow. Well, sources are, now we don't know if it's true, but sources are that, you know, Bow Wow is supposedly worth 10 grand. Now we don't know if it's true. It's probably not, you know how rumors get spread or whatever. But Soulja Boy did tweet, "I don't want to go broke," like Bow Wow did, which is a reference.
the beef.
Exactly, which is a reference to the Gucci Mane line, "I don't want to go broke," like Jock did. Speaking of which, Young Jock just dropped a new mixtape. I haven't listened to it, but I am gonna take a little, little peep at it because, of course, we all know about the whole Gucci Mane, Young Jock thing that's been going on lately. So maybe Young Jock will take some shots at Gucci Mane. We don't know. Is the beef gonna get even more heated? I'm not sure, but make sure we listen to that. Gucci Mane, a lot of people think Gucci Mane has been going crazy lately. He's been going on rants on Twitter, of course, in some of his songs, just taking shots at a lot of Atlanta artists, not even just Atlanta artists, but artists in general. Is it a publicity stunt? We'll never know. He is getting ready to drop an album soon, so that could be how the game goes, but we don't know. He could be crazy. The ice cream tattoo could be sinking in. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Some other things. Oh, of course, big ups to my boy, Kendrick Lamar. Dropped that album, Good Kid, Mad City. It is a work of art. It is definitely a work of art.
I like it too. And I'm
rave reviews. Exactly. She likes it.
I like hip hop, not rap, so I really enjoyed it.
Hey, but Kendrick Lamar, you got ears in all different aspects. So I love the album. I play it. I've been playing it for the past week. So it's been on repeat. It's a great album. If you don't have it, make sure you go out and get that. Support your artists as well. Also, we have other few mixtape drops. We got Currency. We hear he just dropped a new mixtape. Lloyd just dropped a new mixtape. We have Rocco, who dropped a mixtape. Wordplay. We have Trouble, who dropped a new mixtape. There's a lot of mixtapes out. Future was supposed to drop a mixtape the 23rd, but we don't know what happened with that. I guess it got pushed back. I don't know. We'll wait to hear some more about that. But that pretty much wraps up our whole hip-hop scene. With Shantice, if you want to go ahead and let the viewers know what other genres of music, new genres of music, or
what other new news we have in genres of music.
See, that's why we work so well together. She catches me when I fall.
Okay, so in other news, the CMAs aired yesterday. Today's Friday, so comment below. Let us know what you thought about the show. who won, who did you like, who didn't win. Today's Thursday, so obviously we don't know. So let us know what you thought about the show for all of our country friends out there. Speaking of country, Taylor Swift released her album Red. It was very highly anticipated. She released it this week, and it sold 1.2 million albums this week. Crazy. Crazy.
Taylor Swift getting them checks.
Yes, very much so. So Taylor Swift is sitting pretty. So comment below, let us know what you think about her new album, the new mixtapes that Brandon J talks about earlier today. And also, to all of our viewers out there, some of you guys are music artists yourselves. We really want to expose all of you guys. So if you have anybody in mind that is a great music artist, let us know at We Are RNN on Twitter. Also, if you're an artist yourself, don't be shy, don't be bashful. Tell us about yourself as well, and we'll try our hardest to get you on the show. We have no problem exposing undercover artists. So, I'm Shantice, and this is RNN's M3, and this is
Brandon J. Thank you again for watching, you guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Hi guys, you're tuned in to RNN. My name is Eric Cooper, aka No Sleeves, and it's political issues. And today our segment is called "Fuck It With My Vote, Fuck Around and Get Smoked." That's a little funny thing my producer came up with. But the reason it's called that is because we're talking about voter fraud today. We're getting close to the election, and a lot of Republicans like scream about voter fraud, but it's why you see a whole bunch of voter ID laws and stuff like that. When really, Republicans are the ones doing the most voter suppression. In fact, if you look anywhere, there are like no stories in the news of like Republicans alleging Democrats of voter suppression, but there are plenty like examples of Republicans suppressing the vote. So I'm just going to take you to a couple of states. The first place I want to go is Pennsylvania. There are ads on TV and radio basically saying that you need voter ID. You don't need voter ID in Pennsylvania. That's the thing. The Supreme Court in that state basically got rid of that rule. So, but they're running the ads anyway, and they got a Republican governor, and the government's Republican in Pennsylvania. So, you know, who cares? So, suppress the vote. Florida, Indiana, and Virginia. In these states, they got robocalls to Democratic areas and minority areas, basically telling people that you can vote over the phone. How, when, I don't know, but you can't vote over the phone. So, but they got robocalls telling people that, and of course they're in, you know, Democratic areas. You know, reports say they don't know who's doing it. I don't know who's doing it. Could it be Republicans? You decide, you know what I mean? Let's go to my producer's hometown, Maricopa County, Arizona. This is one of the slickest forms of voter suppression I've ever heard of. They basically print ballots that say, you know, vote November 6th on the front, which is right in English, but on the back in Spanish, it says vote on November 8th, which at that point would be, you know, too late to vote. And of course, there's a large, you know, Hispanic population in Maricopa. Obviously, Republicans don't want them to vote in Maricopa. In Ohio, they got billboards of like, and these are only in like minority areas, billboards saying, you know, if you vote in any way that you shouldn't, you know, you're going to jail for a long, long time. You know, basically like, you know, saying voting if you have a felony on your record or something like that. And only in, of course, minority areas, you know, areas where black people and Latinos live. So, you know, that's what they're doing in Ohio. Wisconsin's probably one of the worst. They got basically the people working in conjunction with the Romney campaign. They're training poll workers, and like the stuff that they're telling them is just like egregious, like terrible. Like they're basically telling them to tell people that felons can't vote. You can vote in Wisconsin if you've done your time. That's that state law. They're telling people that you can't. They're telling that you have to have a proof of residency in Wisconsin. You don't have to have a proof of residency in Wisconsin. And they're even going after the handicapped. They're saying that handicapped people have to have like a special certification to vote. You don't. Like, and I guess their logic is handicapped people more likely to vote Democrat, so, you know, fuck them, whatever, you know, suppress the vote. And also one of the main things they were told in the training was, if somebody asks you who you work for, say that you're a concerned citizen. Don't tell them you're working for the Romney campaign. That should tell you everything you need to know, basically. They don't want to be caught up with it, but they're trying to suppress the vote. So basically, going through all this, I might have sped through it all. There's a lot of stuff going on, like, especially in battleground states like Florida. I forgot to mention Florida. In Florida, they have voter purge letters, basically sending letters to people saying you're off the rolls when they're not. You know what I'm saying? So, and we know what happened in 2000. So, like, if Mitt Romney gets elected, what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing. The same thing that happened in 2000. We just going to have a president that was illegitimately elected. So the reason I'm telling you all this is just to make sure wherever you are that you are registered correctly, that you can vote, because there are people out there working in conjunction with politicians that really do want to suppress your vote if you're voting for Obama. Like I said, try not to be biased on this program, but there are literally no reports of Democrats trying to suppress people's votes. No reports. So, I mean, that's just how it is. And, when this happened in 2000, what could have happened? We could have had Al Gore as president. Maybe, I don't know, he would have done something about climate change. You know how Al Gore talks about climate change? Everybody knows climate change is the issue now because it's hot as fuck in the summer, right? You know what I mean? And it's cold as fuck in the winter. That's also a result of climate change. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we could have been on a different path. We wouldn't have been in Iraq, spending all that money. You know what I'm saying? In Iraq, doing all that bullshit. So I'm telling you people, they're trying to suppress your vote. And it can have real consequences. So make sure you get out there and vote. Make sure you're good with your registration. Make sure, no funny business is going on, because it does happen. That concludes the segment today. It's basketball season. We're going to have our sports segment next, and basketball is my favorite sport, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these guys' coverage. Let's kick it to Vontae the Great and D Twice the Swami.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Vontae Robinson, a.k.a. Vontae the Great.
Now DeMarcus Denham, a.k.a. D Twice the Swami.
And this is Let's Talk Sports right here on RNN. Finna go ahead and get into a little segment we like to call Mailtime.
Mailtime!
Yeah, you heard it, man. Mailtime.
Mailtime!
Yeah. Without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into it.
Alright, Mailtime! Danny from Savannah, Georgia asks, who is the bigger liability at quarterback? Michael Vick, Tony Romo, or Mark Sanchez?
I'm gonna say Michael Vick simply for the fact that he turns the ball over way too much. 13 out of 17 Eagles turnovers has been called by him, and I mean Mark Sanchez won't get you many yards, but he keeps control of the ball. And Tony Romo, he's one of those wishy-washy type quarterbacks to where he'll keep you in the game, but just in crunch time it's rough for him. But Michael Vick.
I'm gonna say Mark Sanchez, man. He's just boo boo right now, man. Like. That's plain and simple as I can say it. He got the lowest QBR out of all three of them, and then Michael Vick, I feel like he's the best playmaker out of those three quarterbacks, and then Tony Romo, he has the heart of a lion. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna ball, like, regardless or whatever. And all three, both of their numbers look better than Mark Sanchez's numbers. And then, I'm a big Tebow supporter anyway. I'm ready to see Tebow in the game, man. You know what I'm saying? At least he can run the ball.
Woody Johnson.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. They put him in running back enough, he gonna be doing that.
All right, Mailtime. Nate from Houston, Texas asks, who's the real winner of the James Harden trade? OKC or Houston?
OKC is the winner in this trade. Aside from, the addition of Kevin Martin and Jeremy Lamb and draft picks, really, they got to get rid of that hefty price tag, you know what I'm saying? And then really, I just feel like Houston was the big loser for paying $80 million for James Harden. Now, this is a sixth man we're talking about, people.
He's going to have to start in Houston, though.
Albeit his explosiveness, but still $80 million that I felt is unproven. I can understand 60 million, you know, we're gonna invest in our franchise, but we're talking $80 million? That's garbage. Nah.
Nah. Basura. But I mean, yeah, as Vontae was saying, let me piggyback off that. OKC got better end of that trade. I mean, I'd take Kmart, Jeremy Lamb, and some draft picks for James Harden, Cole Aldrich, and Daquan Cook. Come on now. Like, and plus, Houston's, even with them, they're not going to the playoffs this year. At all.
All right, mail time. A personal mail time directed at both of you guys. Lizzie from San Francisco, California asks, so the Giants swept to win the World Series, and you guys picked Detroit. How you feel now? LOL.
I feel like any given day a team can be beat. LMAO. I feel like Al Pacino. I feel like the Giants just got on the run and just blew them out the water.
So much determination, though. San Francisco Giants just. Ooh, they just mauled everybody.
The good Romo. Romo put the team on their back, though.
They just mauled through everybody. You know what I'm saying? Coming back, I think because they were put against more adversity throughout the throughout the playoffs, and quite simply put, they had the eye of the tiger. No pun intended. Go Giants.
All right, Mailtime. Courtney from Greensboro, North Carolina asks, what would you drop in Cam Newton's suggestion box?
Cam, where your swag at, man? Where your confidence, bro? You know what I'm saying? Where is Auburn big man on campus, Cam? Like, you know, like you got to do something, bro. When your team is down, dog, you can't just stay down, man. You know, especially as a quarterback, someone who's supposed to be the leader of that team, man. It's up to you to get them into it. Because if not you, then who? I ask you. But you want to be Superman, though. Everybody want to be Superman. Earn it, bro.
Cam, you and D'Angelo and Steve, all three of y'all need to holler at y'all old linemen and get them boys in shape. Point blank period.
All right, mail time. Benji from Baton Rouge, Louisiana asks, which game is more important this weekend? Bama LSU or Oregon USC?
Seeing that how it pertains to the #1 team in the nation, I would say the more important game is Bama LSU. It's going to be a defensive battle, not a high-scoring battle. Honestly, it might happen like the last time Bama played LSU and they didn't score. So, of course, Bama's winning. I give Bama 28-0. Nah, 28-7.
I'm gonna enjoy both of those games, but I'm gonna look out for us, the spectators. I'm gonna say Oregon USC. I'm gonna want to see somebody light up the scoreboard. Oregon's gonna do that. Go Ducks, bro. Ducks gonna go 8 on them, bro. USC, they just don't stack up enough, bro. Quite simply put, bro. So it'll be interesting ball though, period. So it's college football. When is it not interesting? It's BCS.
True,
you know what I mean?
So like I said, man, any given day.
Yeah.
But this has been another edition of Mail Time and Let's Talk Sports with RNN News. I'm DeMarcus Denham, aka D Twice the Swami.
It's your boy Vontae the Great. Always a pleasure, y'all.
We got it.
What's up, viewers? It's another edition of the Keeping It Real Roundtable. I'm your host, Davon Kimball, and today is a special roundtable since it's the presidential election. We'll be talking about the upcoming presidential election, and what I have beside me is one political issues, an independent, Mr. Eric Cooper, and our special guest, a Libertarian, Ms. Miracle Rice. Thank you for being on the show.
You're welcome.
And let's get into it. Guys, who is the better person to lead our country and why? And we're going to start ladies first.
I think Gary Johnson is the best candidate because Libertarians all about live free. They want basically everyone's equal. They want get rid of the IRS, intact the fair tax. I think that's a pretty good idea. He wants to get rid of the Department of Education.
Mr. Cooper?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to go with Obama, simply because you know, he's done a lot of good stuff like healthcare. I definitely like on the economy. I mean, of course, you mentioned Gary Johnson. He's not. He doesn't have a chance of winning. Obviously, he's a third-party candidate. But a lot of his principles I agree with. A lot of them I don't. But anyway, going back to Obama, on the economy, of course, he's going to do better than Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney wants to increase the military budget. You know, Mitt Romney has flip-flopped on a lot of stuff too. So we actually don't know everything that Mitt Romney wants to do or doesn't want to do, because he says he's for something and he's against it, like on anything from abortion to health care. The Obama health care law was modeled after his plan in Massachusetts. He's for it and against it. He's even like recently in this election season, like thanked Obama like for like giving him credit, but at the same time I'm gonna repeal Obamacare. So stuff like that, you know. Of course, Mitt Romney's gonna add to the debt with the tax cuts, because of he hasn't told what deductions he's gonna cut and stuff. So overall, I would go with Obama. But if you watch the show, Obama does a lot of stuff I don't like drone strikes, for example, like killing people in Afghanistan, you know, dropping bombs indiscriminately, stuff like that, you know, spying on American citizens with drones. So really, you know, it's the better of two evils, but I mean, overall, I'm gonna go with Obama.
Well, see, no Romney love at this table, but okay, I guess so. So, who's better for the students? Us, college kids, for, you know, people or youth getting our education. Who's better for them to lead our country?
Gary Johnson again. Well, he wants education to be set at a state level for like high school and stuff. So that's why he wants to get rid of the Board of Education. Mm-hmm. And for college students, he wants to get rid of federal loans, which some people might think that's a bad thing, but he believes that loans are the reason why tuition is going up. Because even though there's a cap at loans, people generally get some type of loan from the federal government. So he says that since they're guaranteed, tuition can keep going up because people are going to get some kind of aid from the government.
That's interesting. So you think eliminating the Department of Education would basically make it cheaper for students to go to school?
Well, the Department of Education works with like high school and public schools.
So, I see what you're saying.
He wants it to be at the state level. The states get to run education how they want to run it, instead of having like the little graduation tests like we had to take, ELCTs, because those were government mandates.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that, because a lot of the graduation tests, the teachers will teach to the test and actually not teach the students like things they need to know, ways to think, how to think. They just teach them like answers to pass this one test at the end of the year. So I definitely agree with that.
The standards.
Yeah. And then I also like to mention Obama wants to do a thing where basically you can get a student loan, and when you pay back your student loan, you basically pay a certain percentage of your income based on what your income is. And so basically what the general idea of the legislation is to make it so nobody has to leave school because they can't pay their student loans. So I would definitely say Obama's better than Romney on that, because Romney, everybody knows, you know, he's trying to cut federal student loans and stuff. So that's my take on that.
All right, who is better for our economy? As you know, we've been going through sort of a depression, trying to get ourselves back up. Who is better to lead us out of this economic crisis that we're in right now?
Well, Gary Johnson would start by, he said he was going to enact the plan day one if he was elected. And he wants to get rid of the IRS and enact a fair tax, which would mean everyone across the board would pay 23% in taxes, but everyone gets a prebate, which means that like we get taxed on everything. He only get taxed on like new goods, necessities like clothes and stuff. You would get a check every month back from the taxes you were originally paid on that, and there's no taxes on used goods. Like if you were to buy a car and then sell it to someone, you had to pay taxes on it. But with the fair tax, there's no taxes on that. And he wants to cut the military budget, and he also wants to cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, but he wants to put it in a block grant to all the states.
Okay. So what about sales taxes? Is that including the taxes that you don't pay, or do you still pay like things like sales tax?
Yes, that would be incorporated with the 23%.
So,
and there wouldn't be like during tax season how you have to pay FICA and all that stuff. He would take all that out, so you'd be getting your whole check instead of the government taking out money.
I mean, that's very interesting on taxes. I forgot the original question. What was the original question?
Who is better for the economy? Who is better to lead us out of this economic crisis?
Well, again, I'm gonna go with between Mitt Romney and Obama. Definitely Obama, simply because he wants to do what has proven to work under the Clinton administration. So basically, moving the tax rates back to where they were before Bush was president. Clinton had record budget surpluses. So I mean, I don't want to get into the specifics. You know, all the stuff that Mitt Romney wants to do. You know, all the stuff Obama wants to do. But if you just look at taxes as one thing, if the history has given us what works. Obviously, Mitt Romney wants to do similar policies to what Bush did, and we all know where that got us. So that's my take on it.
And last but not least, who is better in terms of social issues such as abortion, Social Security, etc.?
Well, Gary Johnson wants to put marriage into the states, and he wants to legalize and tax marijuana. He's also reported that he wants to lower the drinking age to 18. And he pretty much he doesn't want the government into anything pretty much except for like defense. He wants to give the states the rights to do everything.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of that, especially because like you can go fight at 18, but you can't drink. Doesn't make sense. And actually in nations where, you know, the drinking laws are more liberal, there's a lot less alcoholism in those nations. A lot of people don't know that. On social issues, let's see, gay marriage, if you care about, you know, giving people equal rights when it comes to marriage, you know, definitely Obama. If you care about abortion, there have been a lot of Republicans talking about, like Todd Aiken talked about, you know, in the case of legitimate rape, the woman's body has to shut that whole thing down or something like that. And then there was another senatorial candidate in Indiana talking about how God intended rape to bring life into the world. So, I mean, and Mitt Romney, he's supporting that guy. He's the only guy that Mitt Romney is supporting, the guy who said that. And if you think about it, if Mitt Romney were to win, he could appoint one Supreme Court judge, which would make the Supreme Court conservative, and basically you can't get an abortion. So even if you're raped, apparently, you can't get an abortion. So potentially you could get raped, abort your rape baby, and then be put in jail. So, I mean, on social issues, of course, I'm going to go with Obama, Democratic Party. Probably going to do better on social issues than the Republican Party. Not that they always do the best stuff, but by default, they're going to do better. So that's my take on it.
And one last question directed for our viewers. We may have some undecided voters. So tell our viewers, why is it so important this year to vote? Like, why is this election important? Whether it's for an independent, for a Democrat, or a Republican, it doesn't matter.
Well, you should always vote so you can have a say in what's going on. And for Gary Johnson, for instance, we all know he's not going to win this election. But we're voting for him this year so he can win, so he could be in the runnings and in the debates for 2016. That's why you should vote.
Exactly. You should vote regardless of who your candidate is. Even if you're, like, her candidate obviously has no chance to win, but he presents a lot of issues, and by voting for him, basically you give him support, and the issues that you like come into the public sphere. People start talking about them. So that's definitely one reason to vote. Just vote to make your voice heard, and you have to work hard to vote. Because my segment this week is actually on voter fraud and how voter suppression. So there are politicians out there that are and they are with organizations that will actually try to suppress your vote. So it's very key to make sure you registered, you know all the laws. A lot of the times some of the voter fraud things. They'll tell you laws that aren't true to try to suppress people. So basically, make sure you're informed, make sure you're registered. If you can early vote, do that. Make sure your voice is heard. I mean, it's the most important part of being a citizen, is making your voice heard.
All right, guys. I'd like to thank, of course, Eric Cooper, Political Issues, and of course our special guest, Ms. Miracle Rice. Thank you so much for being on the show. And this has been a Keeping It Real roundtable discussion. It doesn't matter what state you're in, whether you're in Georgia, Florida, Cali, New York, Wyoming, North, South Dakota. Go out and vote, guys. Let your voices be heard. And this wraps it up, and we'll see you guys next week.
What's happening?
What's going on with y'all, America? Y'all beautiful.
America.
Beautiful.
America.
Yeah.
You enjoyed that episode of RNN?
You know, on behalf of RNN, you know, it's your boy Vontae.
It's your boy the Swami.
Yeah, you know. And on behalf of the rest of the cast of RNN, we just want to thank y'all faithful viewers, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Love y'all.
Every single one of y'all. Mwah. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All of it. All that.
Real. Grazie, all that. You know what I'm saying? But nah, like for real, you know, y'all inspire us, you know, keep us going. And I mean, like we love doing this, you know, we do it for y'all. Yeah. So just thank you.
Keep the views coming, keep the questions coming.
Yeah, you know, likes, comment, follow us on Twitter at WeAreRNN, you know, at Vontae the Great.
At Superhero Stunner. I'm finna change that though. It might just be Swami Stunner by the end of the week.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my dog Day Day, you know what I'm saying? None of this would be possible without him.
Yeah, man. Salute Day Day.
Yeah.
See with the fresh fade.
Yeah. You know,
the real player partner.
Yeah. And we out of here, you know what I'm saying? We love y'all. We out. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Fucking with my vote. Fuck around and get smoked.
Can't even say it with a straight face, nigga.
Did you say older?
Older.
Stop, guys.
Good.
I know.
Message.
That's my text message ringtone. Motivate me. Tell me that I'm not sucking.
Courtlyn, you are not sucking.
Thank
Courtlyn,
you.
you're doing a great job.
You're doing terrible.
Thanks, no sleeves. That always means a lot coming from you. You're doing horrible.